Have you ever wished to marry into royalty because of the vast wealth, respect, and soft life involved? You should think again because you might not get what you wish for. The story of Azrinaz, the third wife of Brunei Sultan, is about marrying one of the richest men alive. It was a marriage with more valleys than hills. If you ask her, she will be the first to tell you to be careful of what you wish for because sometimes they might not be worth it in the end. In this video, we will examine how the Sultan met and married his third wife Azrinaz and what led to the divorce. Early life of Azrinaz Mazhar Hakim. Azrinaz Mazhar Hakim was born on the 23rd of September, 1979, in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. She grew up in a well-respected middle-class family as a result of her privileged background, where she was exposed to gadgets like television that were not readily available in other homes. She developed an interest in communication and media from an early age. Her fascination for the media eventually led her to pursue a career in journalism. At first, she attended a local high school in Kuala Lumpur and later focused on developing her broadcasting skills. Not long after her career in media kicked off, Azrinaz began to make a name for herself as a television journalist. It is worth noting that she got her career turnaround from working for TV3, a leading free-to-air television network in Malaysia. There, she earned widespread recognition for her professionalism and eloquence. Her reporting covered many important topics, and her work in front of the camera captivated audiences. In an interview she gave early in her career, Azrinaz mentioned how genuinely interested she was in storytelling and connecting with people through her reporting. Also, her charisma and talent helped her gain a strong foothold in the Malaysian media industry, where she earned accolades and respect from her peers. However, that's not all. Her professional success didn't stop at journalism. Azrinaz was also known for her elegance and intelligence. They are qualities that set her apart in the public eye. She was the perfect example of a modern Malaysian ambitious, driven, and independent woman. Local outlets like Berita Harian reported, her reputation grew as someone who balanced her demanding career with a grounded personal life. Before her marriage to the Brunei royal family, Azrinaz focused only on building her career. She never allowed any form of reaction, no matter how little. Her dedication to work and achievements showed how determined she was to succeed. This independence and self-reliance came through for her later in life, both as a royal member and after her divorce. How Azrinaz met Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah. One phenomenon that has always intrigued people and, as a result, informed their numerous questions is how a young woman in her prime met and decided to marry the Sultan of Brunei, a man who had married twice. Could it be the money and allure of wearing a tiara and other expensive regalia befitting of a queen? Keep watching to find out. Perhaps Azrinaz Mazhar Hakim had a fiancé in Malaysia before she met with Hassan al. We will never know. However, one certain thing is that Azrinaz's life took a different turn when she crossed paths with Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah, the ruler of Brunei. When questions were asked, special sources came forward, and the Sultan first noticed Azrinaz during her visit to Brunei for a journalism assignment. At the time, Azrinaz was an accomplished TV3 journalist, known for her grace, intelligence, and professionalism. Her reporting and confident demeanor attracted the Sultan and left a lasting impression on him. You might wonder why he would be attracted to him when he had a wife. If you don't know, his religion and position as a sultan allow him to take as many wives as he desires. Also, he has so much wealth that he could attract the most pious woman. And guess what? Azrinaz was no exception. According to local Malaysian media, the two began to connect after this encounter, though the details of their early relationship were shrouded in secrecy. Before their marriage was announced, very few people knew about their relationship. The Sultan, known for his reserved and discreet lifestyle, kept their courtship under wraps. This secrecy served more than one purpose at the time. One, he didn't like the media getting in his business, and two, it shielded Azrinaz from public scrutiny. Also, their relationship's mysteriousness added an air of intrigue to their eventual union. Reports suggest that even close observers of the Brunei royal family were surprised when the marriage was formally announced. Their relationship blossomed when Azrinaz was at the peak of her journalism career. Some speculate that her independent spirit and intellect endeared her to the Sultan. Being in the media herself, she couldn't avoid the headlines. The media houses were quick to note the stark contrast between Azrinaz's life as a journalist and the immense privilege of joining one of the wealthiest royal families in the world. On the 20th of June, 2005, Azrinaz and Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah were married in a private ceremony. Malaysian media outlets like the New Straits Times described the marriage as a fairy tale moment, while international coverage won't stop talking about the surprising nature of the union. Azrinaz's transition from a public-facing career in journalism to becoming a royal consort captured audiences' attention in Malaysia, Brunei, and beyond. This moment was seen as the height of a life-changing journey. The reason is that instead of being in front of the camera reporting news, she would now be kept inside the Sultan's palace, only to be seen outside when the Sultan went out for a function or ceremony. While we will never know the Sultan's reason for marrying her, perhaps a little insight into his background will give us a clue. The Sultan background. Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah is the 29th Sultan of Brunei. Since his environment, he has led an impressive life, characterized by enormous wealth, political influence, and complex personal relationships. He was born into a royal family in Bandar Seri Begawan on the 15th of July 1946. He ascended to the throne on 50 October 1967 after his father, Sultan Omar Ali Saifuddin III, decided to abdicate. Sultan Hassanal is known for being one of the wealthiest monarchs in Southeast Asia and globally. He has been reigning for over 5 decades. While he doesn't like to court public attention, his extravagant lifestyle is like a trail of sugar that never stops attracting the media ants. From the time he was born, Hassan al-Bolkiah started his grooming lessons for leadership. To ensure this, he attended elite institutions such as Victoria Institution in Kuala Lumpur and the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst in the United Kingdom. His education prepared him to assume the role of a modern monarch while preserving Brunei's cultural and Islamic traditions. Under his leadership, Brunei transitioned into an independent nation in 1984. Then, the nation became a major oil and gas exporter. People often wonder the source of his wealth. Well, there you have it. This vast natural resource wealth has made him one of the richest individuals, with his fortune and net worth running into tens of billions. When we talk about Sultan Hassanal, we cannot but mention the women he had before Azrinaz came into the picture. His first marriage was to Raja Isteri Pengiran Anak Haja Saleha, whom he married in 1965. Unlike the other women he married after her, she remains by his side, and their marriage seems to wax stronger by the day. They seem close for this long because Pengiran Anak Haja is Hassanal's first cousin. Since they married almost 6 decades ago, she has functioned as the Raja Isteri. If you are confused about what this means, it means queen consort, and she has remained his official wife. One of the perks of being queen consort is that she has the heart of her husband, no matter how many wives he takes. The couple have 6 children, including the crown prince, Al-Muhtadi Billah. In 1982, Sultan Hassanal took a second marriage to Pengiran Isteri Haja Mariam, a former air hostess of Bruneian and Japanese descent. The union produced 4 children that further expanded the royal lineage. However, their marriage ended in divorce in 2003. Following the separation, Mariam lost her royal titles, but maintained a relationship with her children. His third marriage was to Azrinaz, a journalist, but the union was the shortest of his marriages. Don't worry, we will look deeply into their marriage in an instant. Beyond his personal life, Hassanal is popular for his extravagant spending, including a palace with 1,788 rooms. Also, he has a fleet of luxury cars and a penchant for private jets. However, he never jokes about Brunei's Islamic values. One such news that made headlines in 2014 was the implementation of Sharia law, a move that drew international criticism. Life as the third wife of the Sultan. There are different dynamics for different marriages. For example, some new couples who have never been married often dote on each other while trying to discover themselves as newlyweds. In the same vein, a marriage where both parties have been married once could also have a certain degree of newness to it. However, when you are coming in as the third wife, then that's a different matter. In the case of Azrinaz, she was the only one who had never experienced marriage before. Her husband had been married twice. As expected, Azrinaz Mazar Hakim's life transformed completely when she married Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah of Brunei, 2005. As the wife of one of the longest-reigning monarchs in history, Azrinaz was welcomed into a world of rare privilege and strict royal protocols. She had to adapt quickly to the Bruneian royal lifestyle, which included managing royal duties, embracing cultural traditions, and maintaining the royal family's image. Life in the Istana Nurul Iman Palace, the largest residential palace in the world, offered unequaled luxury. However, the responsibilities of being a royal consort were equally immense. Azrinaz's royal duties included representing the Sultan at public events, hosting dignitaries, and supporting philanthropic initiatives. Despite her prominent position, she was required to maintain a reserved public image, as Brunei's royal family traditionally keeps a low profile compared to other monarchies. Unlike her life as a reporter, where she could go out at any time to chase down a lead or story, she had to observe strict protocol. Azrinaz's place as a wife and member of the royal dynasty was established when she became a mother to two royal children, Prince Abdul Waki, born on the 1st of June 2006. Until the baby was born, a lot of people were kept in the dark about the pregnancy. Why? You may want to ask. The simple reason was that the Sultan liked his home affairs to be kept private. However, when it was announced that a son had been added to the royal family, a 21-cannon salute was fired at the vicinity of the Istana Nurul Iman to celebrate. 2 years later, Azrinaz gave birth to Princess Amira Wardatul Bolkiah on the 28th of January, 2008. More than whatever assignment she had before, motherhood became a priority as she was tasked with raising her children according to royal customs and traditions. The media followed her story closely during her time as the Sultan's wife. They made sure to report everything she did, or that was done to her. In Malaysia, she was often hailed as an inspiration for her remarkable rise from journalist to royalty. Malaysian publications like Bernama painted her as a role model because she took her role as a royal wife seriously without any drama, especially as she was a journalist. It noted how she represented her home country with dignity internationally. However, in Brunei, the royal family's tradition of privacy limited media coverage of her personal life. Public opinion varied. Some admired Azrinaz for her grace and ability to handle her new role, while others scrutinized and criticized her position as the Sultan's third wife in a polygamous marriage. Many people wondered why a 26-year-old girl would marry a man old enough to be her father. They speculated about her longevity in the palace and what her future would look like if she divorced. The divorce and possible reasons behind it. In June 2010, the Sultan of Brunei, Hassan al-Bolkiah, and Azrinaz Mazar Hakim shocked many by announcing their divorce. However, it wasn't shocking to some people who had projected into the future. To this set of people, there were way too many shortcomings for the marriage to succeed or last. The news was made public through an official royal statement, a rare move from the Sultanate known for its privacy. This announcement ended their 5-year marriage, which the media had closely followed since their union in 2005. Upon the announcement, her royal title, state decorations, and Medal of Honor were withdrawn. Nonetheless, her children retained their titles. The Sultan also made a personal announcement at a state event. According to a report by The Star, the Sultan declared that the marriage had ended by mutual consent and invoked talaq tiga, an irrevocable divorce under Islamic law. This meant there was no possibility of reconciliation. In addition, the Sultan revoked Azrinaz's royal titles, including Pengiran Isteri, which meant royal consort, as part of the dissolution. The impact of this was that she would effectively remove her from the royal family's public sphere. While the Sultanate did not elaborate on the reason for the divorce, there was much speculation in the media regarding the reasons behind the split. Malaysian outlets like Harian Metro suggested that increasing tensions and differences in expectations could have contributed. Some pointed to the challenges of being in a polygamous marriage as a contributing factor. During their marriage, the Sultan had 2 other wives, including Queen Saleha, his first wife, and Mariam Abdul Aziz, who had also been divorced. Given the 33-year age difference between her and the Sultan, reports from Asia 1 hinted at potential pressures from Azrinaz's youth. Adjusting to life as a royal, alongside sharing the Sultan's attention with other consorts, was likely one of the reasons the marriage ended. Another reason the marriage hit the rocks was the Sultan's position as the leader of a deeply conservative and traditional Islamic monarchy. Without a doubt, this imposed huge pressure on Azrinaz. As the third wife of the Sultan, Azrinaz was expected to conform to Brunei's cultural and religious expectations, which posed a challenge given her career-oriented and independent background as a journalist. Her previous lifestyle and the adjustment required to fulfill royal duties were responsible for the issues they had in the marriage. Some other sources also came forward with rumors of jealousy and potential infidelity. These were circulated in tabloid publications for a while, and people thought that was a valid reason. Given the Sultan's history and status as a powerful figure, managing relationships within the context of multiple marriages could have introduced challenges. Also, in the marriage, there was a focus on royal succession. How so, you might want to ask? The Sultan and Azrinaz had 2 children together. While these children became part of the royal lineage, they are not in direct succession to the throne, as the Sultan's eldest son, Crown Prince Al-Muhtadi Billah, is the heir apparent. Some reports suggest that focusing on the Crown Prince and his family affected Azrinaz's place within the royal household. Life after the divorce. After the divorce, Azrinaz returned to her home country, Malaysia, to start anew. Hold on a second. Can you imagine being stripped of your royal titles and returning to an ordinary life? Well, it's life. You are up one minute, and the next, you are grappling for straws in a sinking river. At first, Azrinaz maintained a low profile by staying out of the limelight as she focused on regaining her personal and professional identity. In her first public statement post-divorce, Azrinaz talked about her desire to move forward and focus on personal growth. In an interview with The Star, she expressed gratitude for the experiences she had gained in Brunei while acknowledging the difficulties of her newfound independence. She said, "Life is about embracing change and moving forward with strength." By year 2015, Azrinaz began making more public appearances and gradually started embracing her new life outside a grand palace. As noted in Harry and Metro, she shared insights about her journey and how she had adapted to life post-divorce. Her honesty about the challenges of being in the public eye went a long way in garnering sympathy and admiration. After a divorce, many couples usually work out an arrangement that allows them to share custody and co-parent their children. However, in the case of Azrinaz, her former husband, Sultan Hassanal, refuses to let her take her children. That's not all. She did not grant her the right to visit them too. She lost everything from jewelry titles and expensive jewelry to her children. How insensitive could one be to deprive a mother of her children? If there is one thing Azrinaz should be praised for, it's her strength. Having lost everything she had amassed in 5 years in a foreign land, she decided to pick up the pieces of her life and move on. She married Firoz Khan Abdul Hamid, a successful Malaysian businessman, in 2018. Their solemnization ceremony occurred at her house and was attended by family members and close friends. Azrinaz's second marriage was widely covered by Malaysian media, including outlets. They described the union as a fresh start for the former royal consort. Firoz Khan, known for his business acumen, reportedly provided Azrinaz with a supportive and stable partnership. In interviews with Hari and Metro, Azrinaz expressed gratitude for the opportunity to rebuild her personal life and focus on her happiness. Azrinaz, who was 39 then, revealed this in 2 Instagram posts, where she was wearing a white baju kurung. The simple caption read that the lovebirds had tied the knot. She continued by saying they had known each other for 2 decades. From that submission, it is easy to infer that they had been friends before she married Sultan Hassanal and got whisked to Brunei. She said, "Our romance took merely a year, though we've been friends for the longest time. Firoz has always understood me well, and thus I have chosen him as my life partner." In addition, their solemnization ceremony took place at her house, in the presence of her parents, family members, and the Federal Territory's Islamic Religious Department's Registrar of Marriages, Divorces, and Reconciliations, Hasman Hashim. It was as if she knew people would have side talks and ask weird questions like, why must she remarry? After all, she has 2 kids already. Her mature yet polite answer to such a question was, "As a normal human being, I have my spiritual and emotional needs. Consequently, I decided to marry again, for with marriage, I feel complete. The people who were close to her said Azrinaz made preparations for their wedding for 2 months. Her remarriage was seen by many as a turning point. Unlike her first marriage, which had immense public and royal responsibilities, her new relationship allowed her to live a more private and balanced life. Despite stepping back from royal duties, Azrinaz maintained her elegance and grace in public appearances, allowing her to gain admiration from both media and fans. Since Azrinaz had left a life where she didn't need to work to be provided for, she now has to work. Thankfully, she had a career before her vacation in Brunei. She established herself in business and philanthropy with her media expertise and public image. She ventured into the beauty and lifestyle industry, launching her brand that shows her values of strength and transformation. In this new marriage, she can be herself and pursue any endeavor that catches her fancy while happily married. Azrinaz today. After her wedding to her long-term friend, Azrinaz started spreading her wings by flying to places she had dreamed of for leisure and business. One of the places the couple visited was Palestine. The television personality describes her visit to Palestine as a dream come true. She said in a news report, "My husband and I will set foot in the Al-Aqsa Mosque, Jerusalem, Palestine. It's always been my goal in life to be there, and both of us are looking forward to that day which is around the corner." Azrinaz, who at the time was about to clock 40, and her husband, Firoz Khan Abdul Hamid, said they couldn't wait to meet Palestinians from all walks of life and have an iftar with them. Also in the report, Azrinaz said, "It will be fascinating to explore the city's many historical sites that are significant in Islamic history. Our visit to Palestine may be a honeymoon of sorts, but it is more importantly a spiritual journey that is best shared by newlyweds." On the 2nd of February, 2021, Azrinaz Mazar Hakim surprised many by announcing that she was 7 months pregnant with her 4th child. The former TV3 presenter shared the good news on Instagram with photos from her pregnancy shoot, writing, "This is not a throwback. What you see in this picture is happening now. Pink or blue, what to adore? Here we go with my number 4. She captioned the post, "I am currently 7 months plus. To be exact, 30 weeks pregnant. Alhamdulillah Sukur. Allah is blessing me and my husband by giving me another chance to carry another life again at this age. I don't expect to be so close to a gap after Arisha Maleka, but why wait when I can do it now? So here you go." Right now, you are wondering who Arisha Maleka is. She is her 3rd child, but first with her husband Firoz. Also, in the social media post, she expressed hope that friends and family would pray for her and her baby so that they could have a smooth delivery in months. Ever since her divorce from the Sultan of Brunei, people have often wondered if she has attempted to get custody of her children. The truth is, even if she tried, it would be futile. The Sultan had made it clear that his children would not be raised outside the palace. At this point, one can't help but wonder if her marriage with the Sultan was contractual. There are many apparent indications of this fact, such as how you can marry a young woman for just 5 years and sever ties with her. I guess this will always be a Southeast Asian mystery. What do you think about Azrinaz? Do you think the Sultan is being unfair to her by denying her the right to see her children? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoy this video, you should like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more.